Well, that sound means it's the best part of your Sunday. What's up, everybody? It's the All Day Podcast. I'm Brett. That's Lofa. Look at the viewer number rising. Look at the comments already filling up. There's not even any Seahawk football to talk about, Lofa, and the people are still here. The family's still here. Look at this little community we've created. Here we are. Right? Yeah, man. I can't believe it. I'm excited to see people here. If there was one person here, it would make my day. And I'm happy that we can make even one person's day. So thank you all for being here. Copy the link, paste it, text it to your friends, DM your friends, however you guys are getting in touch with each other nowadays. Send this link around to everybody and tell them that Lofa and I are on and that we're ready to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about tonight. Starting things off, and while people enter, Lofa, it's a snow day up in Seattle. You guys got some precipitation up there in early February. It's a little late.
Brother, we got dumped on over here.
Yeah, man.
Like, I grew up in Massachusetts, so like it's not that impressive to me. But when you don't see it a while, it was a little nostalgic. I was pretty excited. Yeah. My kid was stoked. My 10-year-old Kane went out. We 2/3 of the way built a snowman. Look at Mike right on the spot with the picture. So he's on the far left. I was like, all right, we just got to roll and then just keep rolling. Like, don't worry, let it go. We just have to keep pushing, right? And because before he was out there for probably an hour or hour and 20 doing that ball by himself. The first picture you see. Now, if you go to the middle, that's us standing next to. I know it doesn't look it, but that's us standing next to one way bigger. Yeah. And then the final frame. Yes, that's a grown ass man building a snowman by himself because my kid went to baseball tryouts. But like Kobe Bryant says, job's not finished, right?
Wait. Baseball tryouts. So hopefully that was indoors.
It was. It was. It's more like, I don't know how, Washington sports are these days, other than how I know them. But it's like placement. And well, so you know me and the Mamba mentality of I just put him in the hardest division. Who gives a shit? He's gonna figure it out.
Right.
And I know it's different out here. They're like, no, we want him to like be comfortable and happy. I was like, no. Nothing great happens there. Like, but I let my wife talk to the league because I don't know if I could contain myself.
Right. There's not tryouts, they're evaluations.
Yes. Which I've never heard of.
Everybody makes the squad. We just got to figure out where to put you. I
feel like this is part of the problem. Like yes, like because there's always a story of the kid that didn't make it, like Michael Jordan and his high school team, right? And then look what that developed into. Pissed him off.
High school though, this is rec league baseball. They have 6 different teams. Everybody makes it on a team. It's not, or are they going for one team specifically? Is it like travel ball, or are you talking about?
No. So travel ball, the only thing travel ball gets right is that they cut people. All right. Other than that, they have everything wrong. They logistically, it's a nightmare from everything I've seen and heard. The coaches don't actually encourage the players or really care. They just, there for the paycheck, literally there for the paycheck. So
you're nailing it.
I'm just, it's just what I'm observing.
No, I feel you. So for the league though, all the kids get to play. So you got to evaluate them, put them in the right spot. They don't say you're not allowed to play here, kid. Your parents paid the registration. You're in, homie.
I don't give a shit about a registration. If my kid's not good enough, you're not playing, bro. We got to go do some more work. All right. Put your ass in the cages. We're going to throw the ball. Okay.
First of all, I'm sure he's a beast. I have no doubt he's a beast. But like on my team, because we just put together our teams down here, and we've got some kids that are older that have come down into my son's division where he's the proper age group, but we've got some kids that are coming down because they've never played before, and they are so lucky to meet Coach Brett. Because here I am ready to turn this kid who's never played before, but he happens to be 2 years older, so I know I can work with that. Let's into a ball player. Let's go. I'm happy to have
it. You got a bunch of Tony Amontes. Good for you. If I see your team in the Little League World Series, I'm not gonna snitch, but like, come on, bro.
Hey, listen, if we can bring up the bottom half of our lineup, then we're all doing better at the end of the day,
I mean, winning's everything. That's what
they're gonna be on the team no matter what.
I coach my kids' rec league, and it's it's an interesting group of characters, I'll say, to put it nicely. A lot of kids that have never played before. Yeah. And all I ask is effort and attitude. Yeah. Great effort, positive attitude. That's all I ask. And I did tell them, I go, look, winning isn't everything. And then, they're like, yeah, we got to have fun. I was like, oh, pump the brakes, kid. I didn't finish. It's the only thing. All right. I go, I'm not here for the paycheck. I'm here to win, damn it.
Yeah. I give the kids a speech on the first day also. I go, listen, who's here to have fun? And they all raise their hand. No. No. I mean, yes, we're here for fun, but how do we have fun? We have fun because we play as hard as we can, because we hustle all the time, because we give 100%, because we show up on time, because, we dive for every, ground ball, whatever. That's how you have fun. Like, you can't just show up and it's fun. You got to show up and then make it be fun by trying your best. So, yeah, it's we're on the same page on that. That's good. Hello, family. Hello, all day family. Thank you guys for being here. Look at that, Lofa. Record time. It's an official episode.
Wow, already.
Time at all. We're already there, everybody. It's an official episode, over 100 viewers. Keep copying and pasting this link and sending it around to your friends and family. The fact that we have reached that many viewers in this short amount of time, and it's not even Seahawks football that necessarily right now, is amazing. And we thank you all so much for being here. It's really cool. So thanks a lot.
Wait, you said how many viewers?
Oh, we're well over 100 now.
Oh, okay. I mean, normally, for those hanging out, normally we're at 100,000, but I think the Grammys are cutting into our whole.
Are the Grammys on tonight? How dare
I think so.
How dare they? Quickly, though, going back to the picture, if Michael has it one more time, the picture of the snowman, I just want to say, growing up there in Washington State, I mean, that is a Washington State snowman because it looks heavy as hell because it's wet, and it's also covered in grass because there's not that much snow. So that is perfect right there. That's the
right
snowman I ever built growing up, especially on the right there with like the grass embedded in it.
And for perspective, ladies and gentlemen, I'm at least 6'2", 6'3", so that thing is massive.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That looks like you had fun. That's good. No snow down here. It was like 80 degrees all day long. So
I hate you.
There's that. Lots to talk about here on the Big Show, everybody. And thank you for being here once again. Tell your friends and family that we're on. We're starting with snow, but we're going to get into some Seahawks stuff here because there's lots of Seahawks questions, man. I mean, we talked about it this week, but because I'm seeing this question everywhere and because some viewers might not have been with us during the week, let's talk about it again real quick. Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, cap space. You got to make some cap space. There's a lot of things going on with our Seahawks here. I mean, first of all, right away with the quarterback, what do you think will happen with the Geno Smith situation? And you guys watching, what do you guys think will happen? Fill up the chat. Let us know. But Lofa, what do you think is going to happen with Geno this offseason?
Just because of the price tag right now and the cap, we're I think we said we were fifth, like worst in terms of, we're 23 million over the cap. Yeah. So there's a restructuring at minimum or at worst. where, it's not a bad deal. It's a great deal for the team. It's a great deal for the player. They get the cash up front, like within a 10-day, they get a signing bonus within 10 days. But then, until we at least find a suitable heir to the throne, whether we develop one in Sam Howell or we go and draft one and believe that this is the guy and just bring him up slowly. This is the one position that just does not feel like you can rush. And I mean, it's just, you look around everywhere, all these former first round picks that had success this year, they're 5 years in with their third or fourth team. Yeah. Like Darnold, Mayfield, all these guys. So like, I think people are finally figuring out how to best, get that position, get the most out of it. So
quick note to the family here. We see your comments on YouTube. We can also see your comments on X. So if you're watching on X, fill up the comment section, and I think they pop up here. We can see those. I see you guys filling up the chat here about Geno. Chris Anderson says Geno stays. Other people are saying Geno stays. I think Geno stays as well, hopefully, ultimately. But if he stays, as we discussed this week, probably some restructuring to that contract to help with the cap space. Yeah, but at the same time, how do you ask a guy like Geno to take a team-friendly deal when it seems like he always has been?
But a restructuring is not always a pay cut. It's sometimes just money up front, right? Okay. So like a portion of it will be delivered to him right away rather than him waiting on it, and his base salary being high and everything else. Kind of similar to what a lot of players have done it, not like Lockett. He unfortunately, he took a pay cut, to stay with the team last year. Right. And I think, that's they're probably, because they don't want him going anywhere. And he said he fully intends to play his next season. So we'll see. That remains to be seen. But with Geno, this is totally different. Just restructure it and then maybe add on one option year or the things that they could do and then at least Sam's here for, another year. And then they figure out, okay, is this the guy that we're going with after Geno? And like I said, Geno's going to play another 6-7 years. I promise you. That's how good if he wants to, but that's how good his arm talent is. And he's a pocket passer. He can use his legs. He doesn't always do it, but I mean, the first game of the season, we saw him rip that 43-yarder where he juked the absolute dog shit out of that safety. Like, he's still got it.
Yeah, but if he plays 6 or 7 more years, all 6 or 7 years wouldn't be with the Seahawks, would they?
I doubt it, because the price tag will just keep going up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hear you on that. Fill up the super chats, everybody. Producer Katie will be here. She's running a little late tonight, but she has assured us she will be here. So if you send in a super chat, she will read that. Your words will come up here on the screen. So make sure you're filling those up. I went to a going away party for a friend of ours down here this weekend, and they all know I'm a Seahawks fan and all that. And somebody said to me, like, Geno or Sam Darnold? And I look back and I said, why is this the question that I keep getting asked? And by the way, do you mean Sam Howell? Why is Geno always lumped in with Sam Darnold? It's not the first time this season that people have brought up that comparison or whatever. I mean, I don't even know Sam Darnold's contract situation, but why does that keep getting brought up? Like, why do people see those as similar players?
Because Darnold's free now. He's free agent. And
so he is. Okay.
Yeah. No. So I know what you're saying with the confusion there, but he is free, and it's you can't franchise him. That's like 40 something million now these days. So he had an unbelievable season. He had a rough last 2 games, which unfortunately were the 2 biggest games. So I really feel like the price tag has come down since seeing those 2 games. And then you just have to factor in Flores and that defense were, very opportunistic, scored a bunch, not just took the ball away, but they scored with those opportunities. And then he had Aaron Jones, a good O-line, and then two really great receivers. In my opinion, Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the league, and then you got Addison and then Hawkinson. So it's you couldn't ask for a better situation for any quarterback. And so I think if you switch the two, what we finished 10-6, I feel like we probably go 8-9 with Darnold. And I think, Gino and them, I'm not saying they're playing in the big one, but they're going farther than they did.
Yeah. Let's see. Long Live the King has Darnold being a Raider, possibly down there at the Seahawks Southwest. Gino might end up being a Raider. We'll see what happens here.
Whoa.
If you look at Instagram or you find these dark rumors on
You got breaking news? You got breaking news? What are you trying to say there, partner?
No breaking news down here, but I'm just saying. I think that there's going to be a lot of moves made this offseason. I think the Tyler Lockett one that you bring up, I think is just, it's hard. I mean, that's a tough one, man. That's our guy. That's been our guy for a long time. We love Tyler. He didn't have the kind of production he wanted to have this year. Honestly, I don't think they targeted him as much as they kind of should have. But either way, like you said, he already took kind of a team-friendly deal. It'd be hard for him to take a second team-friendly deal. And I think we might need to get used to the idea of Tyler being in a different uniform, no matter how weird that will be. But it happens, at the end. He's got a big cap hit this next year. So I don't know. The Darnold and Gino thing. Yeah. Okay. So everybody's filling up the chat. Yeah. Okay. He's a free agent. My bad. My bad on that. I don't want him over Gino. I like what we got. I think Gino's been here for a while. He's the leader in the locker room. All these guys, Lofa talks about it all the time, his leadership qualities. So I don't want to see him going anywhere, and especially for Sam Darnold. I think that's almost, it's not even a lateral move, like you point out. It might even be a step down. So I'm not in favor of that. However, it would save money, which is what a lot of people are looking at,
I don't know if it'll save that much money. Like, Sam's probably going to get somewhere around, honestly, before those last two games, he was going to be up around $50 million a year. And I really think now that number, because of, he didn't get exposed, it didn't go well, and I honestly think it's going to be somewhere around 30 to 35 a year now. Still great money, right? But just saying, it's not what he was prepared to cash in before those two games.
Yeah. Well, if they restructure Gino, though, we're talking restructuring, what's that mean for the years left? And then what do you do after next year if you are able to restructure him?
I think this is his last year. So restructure just means some of that money's going up front, right? Mm-hmm. Add on an option year, a team option year, right? So if we see Gino just completely regress, to just abysmal numbers, then okay, you decline that option year. At least you give yourself an out. But I don't see that happening, especially with the way this defense is playing and how all of McDonald's defenses have continually gotten better. Mm-hmm. So I just think 2 years, that's enough time to pass the torch, to find the next guy and just kind of set, the stage and, where you want to go as an organization.
What are you thinking if you're Sam Howell?
Gotta make the most of your opportunities, man. It's crazy. This is how crazy the league is. Sam Howell had a great year last year, all things considered, right? Over with the Commanders, played a lot of great football and then gets shipped. And I don't know maybe a fifth rounder, right? But then if you start and you play, he played better than a lot of guys that are getting paid right now. So I'm sure the mental battle's got to be tough to make sense of, why am I not getting an opportunity at my price tag when other teams are willing to spend for someone that produced equal or less than what I did? So, but he just has to, you got to make the most of your opportunities. I tell every kid, don't count the reps, make the reps count. So and this, I just go back to my journey. Like everywhere I was a backup, whether my first year at college in Maine or when I was at SC, my first year, I was like third or fourth on the depth chart. Okay, you're only getting like 4 reps. More than make a play, you better not fuck up. That's all I'm saying. Like, do not make a mistake that you watched all of your boys made and your coach loses shit. Just don't do that. Like, and I'm not saying don't go for it, but just learn. You can learn from others' mistakes, right? So, but he's a damn good quarterback. He will be. And I think when we saw him go into that Green Bay game, when Geno got hurt and it looked bad. I think everybody kind of like stepped back, and I'm talking organization included. And it was just like, okay, offensively, what are we doing? Like if Geno finally took a dip down in production and Sam Howell looked like a rookie, there's a bigger issue. And those, moves were made in terms of offense coordinator change and so on and so forth. So that's really all encapsulated about Sam, and then even the offense in particular.
Yeah. McDonald, they win 10 games in his first year, which is a record by a new Seahawks head coach. And 10 wins in your first year, that's nothing to knock at all. I think we wish would have all finished stronger, I think. But just when you kind of look at it, and it's been a few weeks, take a step back. Okay, 10 wins, it's pretty great. And like you said, I don't know what that would be without Geno. I think they need that strong veteran leadership. It's just where they find themselves with cap space and with the money, it's going to be tricky. So some moves need to be made. I think some, cuts. Is that how you would say it? I don't know, but some of those budget cuts might come on defense.
Well, cap casualties is the respectful way to say it, Brett.
Okay, sorry.
I mean, we're still human beings. Damn. What is it in the actor world when you guys are over?
You're a 9-year-old who can't hit a curveball, and then get out of here, kid. Hit the bricks.
I mean, obviously, yeah. Thanks for coming out. What is it in the acting world when someone gets
what is it in the acting world? Oh, they don't even call you. They just your phone just ring.
A film goes over budget. All right. Yeah. What happens then?
Like if they need to clear some actor space, you just get fired straight up. You get
Cold world, right?
Oh, buddy, you have no idea. Yeah,
but
I got one of those one time. You want me to tell you about it?
I'll tell you. Tell me about it. I need you to tell us about it.
Okay, one of the first jobs I ever booked a long time ago. Long. This would have been one of my first ever professional gigs. I went and auditioned for Law and Order way back in the day, like Jerry Orbach days. This is going back a long time. And the suspect was like a high school athlete, soccer player, something like that. Classmate ends up getting murdered. Who done it type, Law and Order, right? So I booked this role as like the suspect's friend on the soccer team, like one of the other kids, whatever. One scene, gonna be fun. The cops come up and talk to me. I point their direction towards the kid they're looking for, and off they go. Whatever. I booked the job. They say you're gonna show up on Monday. They told me this on a Friday. Over the weekend, I get a call. Hey, they're not gonna need you Monday morning. What? This is the biggest job I ever booked. What happened? What did I do? Was it something I said? How could it be? I thought I got the job. No. They realized that in the scene, the cops can just probably walk up and just go find the kid. They don't need somebody to point that direction or say they've had they don't need those 3 lines.
We don't need those royalties going out, bud. We don't. Yeah. You were great. It's not you, it's us.
Yeah. So, I have watched that episode also, and Jerry Orbach and the other guy, they just kind of come to practice and look for who they're looking for and go straight over to the kid.
Yeah.
So they get your hopes up and then they snatch it away.
That's brutal, brother. Yeah, but in our business, there is like one favorable outcome where they're like, hey, it's not us, it's you. However, we found somebody else to pay the tab. So you're getting traded, right? And like the player's like, oh, cool. All right. Hey,
I got somewhere else to go.
Shit happens.
Right.
At least we tried, right? So, but in the other, scene or version, it's, we're going to need you to like cut everything. And then you're like, well, like in half? They're like, we were thinking a quarter. Like, go. We're going to make a quarter of what you're still going to do everything you did, but you're only going to a quarter of what you used to get paid. And it's just like, well, no, just trade me or just cut me. Right. That's kind of how it goes in the biz.
I'm also seeing in the comments here that my Wi-Fi is the one letting us down tonight. Sometimes it's Lofa's, sometimes it's mine. You never really know. It could be your Wi-Fi out there watching that's slow.
We like to keep you guessing.
The whole thing down. You just never know. Yeah, man. You just get written out here in Hollywood. That's what they call it. You got written out, man. By the way, turnabout's fair play though, because years and years later, I was on a show called Major Crimes where I got to kill off a main cast member.
Oh.
So,
how'd you do it?
Just wrote that guy out.
How'd you do it?
With a gun.
Soft.
Oh man, that was crazy. I was at that table read and this guy's been on the show for like a decade. And you're shaking his hand like, hey man, good to be here. And he's like, my last rodeo, man.
Grand opening, grand closing, kid. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Oh man. You could go find that one. That's a 2-parter. I'm in both parts of that one. Anyway,
the 2 parts.
Don't get written out, everybody. Make sure you're unwrite outable, I guess is the point. And I wrote this down, Lofa. Don't count the reps, make the reps count. You're on it with that one, man. I'm taking that one right to the baseball field. I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, shit. I didn't make it. I heard it from a coach that I had.
Don't say that. Take credit. We need to copyright that shit.
Okay, we'll make a shirt. Print them up.
Yeah, but you're right though. I mean, just make yourself undeniable, and people will see it. And, not just fans, but coaches and everybody, and then you control your own value at that point.
But literally, so in our line of work, it's like if you only get 4 or 5 reps, like do not be the one messing up. Like more so than standing out like, oh, great interception or whatever. Like just do your job, right? And show great effort and positive attitude, everything that you need to do, right? And it'll work out in your favor. The hard work will continue to show. But I guarantee you, because all these coaches have to go off of is how you practice. It's like, the kid gives great effort in practice, he's going to give great effort at the game. Like there's carryover there, right? That's why they always say you practice like you play. Mm-hmm. But there is, I guess you guys would call it stage fright or a little performance anxiety. Sure. When the bright lights come on. So for me, it was always the opposite. Like when I was really young, I was a horrible practice player. I was always giving great effort, but I was just trying to fucking hit guys. I didn't give a shit about any of the rules or the scheme. It's like, just go tear it up. And then, but like when I got to the game, and it's like it was so much more quiet and you could just focus and play ball. So, and then it's opposite for a lot of other guys. They play phenomenal in practice, and then they get to the game and they tense up, right? Like the moment's a little too big. So, but I always believe like great coaching helps these kids understand what they're feeling in that moment and get them over that, right? Get them across that fear. I think that's the only thing that really causes them to tense up is, oh no, what if I mess up? You think like that, you're going to mess up.
Right. You go half speed, you're going to get hurt.
Wait, I got hurt a lot and I never went half speed. All right. So I debunked Mythbusters.
However, if not to be rude, but if I pointed to your combine 40 time, some would say you weren't getting there in a hurry.
Very pedestrian. You're right. I'm quite positive you could have beat me in the 40.
Oh, but not when it comes to getting into that hole and trying to stop the guy running through it. That's the problem.
Well, when the hell are we ever running 4 yards in a straight line? If you're running 4 yards in a straight line, you're a fucking terrible defense. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. That means the guy got past you and you're trying to chase him down.
there's a bigger problem.
Right. Right. It's more of a receiver stat, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right.
DBs, receivers, right? Like,
Yeah.
If you need me to chase him down, it's not going to happen.
You guys are amazing. Shout out to the family tonight. We have almost 3 times the viewers that we would normally have. You guys are copying this link. You're pasting this link. You're sending it to your friends. I'm giddy as I'm looking up at the viewer number. Keep filling it up and keep filling up the chat. Producer Katie has walked in to the house here. She is here. She's in the building. She is ready to read your super chats or whatever you call them. So make sure you're filling those up and entering those, and we'll get to those in the Q&A section coming up in a minute. Lofa, guys, we talked about it this week. The number one position of need on this team has got to be offensive line. The offensive line was downright offensive this year. It was the offensive line. And
it was brutal.
Yeah. So this week, you took a look at some film out there, and you brought us back some film. You brought us back some names. Who are some guys that, are coming out of college and that you're looking at? And I don't know what the order is that we have here, but I know that we've got the video and the names. How do you want to do this thing?
I say we just rolled that beautiful bean footage, Big Mike.
All right. Who do we got?
First?
Here, we're looking at potential O-line prospects.
Shocker. It's either the kid from Bama or the kid from Georgia. Right. and they have 2 from each at guard and center. The center from Georgia is nasty, but we don't need a center. But you'll see what I'm talking about when we roll some of these clips. In terms of spatial awareness, like recognition and timing and space, like this, So as soon as we pull those up, you'll see it. But here we go. We get the hog mollies, as they like to call them. Right. What is a hog molly? I don't know, but he's circled right there. This is a position I see end up in a lot. He just flatbacks people. Right here, he's in pass. This is Tyler Booker.
Okay,
look at him. He finishes blocks. This is it's very hard to find film on offensive linemen, by the way, for those of you that are out there. But look at, not the greatest feet, but he's got great balance, and he's just one of the strongest human beings I've ever seen. I know that's a double team right there.
Built
but
like
here he's pulling. Oh, dude, he's a monster. And he's just nasty. Look at this. This is a pass block. He's passing. He pushed that guy almost 3 or 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. He was at risk of a penalty for being illegally downfield. That's how aggressive and strong he is. A true run blocker, right? And just nasty. And what he doesn't have in terms of moving capabilities, or athleticism, he makes up with his hand strength and just fighting, just beast.
Yeah, and he's built low to the ground there. That center of gravity. He's got
I think he's well proportioned, but I think he's still 6'4", 6'5". He's not. Well, he's just so massive and wide that he probably looks shorter. But just look at him
come off that one and then bang the other guy on that one.
But look, the pass off right here it was a tackle end game, so it was called a tex. Tackle goes and wraps around. He just threw the guy out the club, right? No white tees, and then he waited on the other guy.
Yeah.
But that poor D tackle.
He's driving. He's kind of double teaming the guy there, but
exactly. He had help, but
how about that pull, right?
Yeah, exactly right. This is what we should have done more of last year. So I mean, it's just he's got beautiful tape, and if he's at a program like Bama, he loves football. Yeah. So this is of all the guys, one of the few that I was able to find a lot of film on, but trying to keep him, 40 to 50 seconds so we can see the full game. Even his only maybe worry is pass blocking, and I'm not talking about grades for anybody that's going to jump in he's one of the highest graded pass blockers. He's just so strong. As soon as you get locked up with him, it's over. And you don't see that often out of guys, in college or at the next level. Just stones them.
Is this your first round guy?
All reports have him. They have him going first round. But very rarely does a guard go before 18 where we're at. So I think he'll be available. And then the only other guy that really stood out to me that we'll watch next is Tate Ratledge. Now look at this. Okay. That play right there, and we're going to have Michael run it back after we watch this one full loop. But look, right there, that too, the scoop block where you get around, you have to have insane athleticism and hips to shuffle 2 steps and then turn. And he will, he'll dump you out too, but just a really good athlete. And then here, hand strength, like that guy, he would knock most guys over, but that's what I'm talking right there. The scoop, just these little things that,
this guy basically, he's playing right tackle for Georgia here, number 69.
Excellent number 2, right? Gotta love him for that.
Billy Bob.
He's got a sense of humor.
Billy Bob. I give it a 10. I give it a 10.
Yeah. But just and Mike, just run it back one more time because that's first play. Watch when he goes straight up. If you can't reach, go straight up, and then that springs the guy. The DN should have stayed outside, but the linebacker didn't get outside of that either. But that right there where he's just his quick feet
to the outside.
But here, just sitting down, and it looks like he's leaning too far forward, but he doesn't get snatched down or thrown to the ground, which. That's insane strength, the core strength, and just power.
That one he's playing more outside. He's almost a tackle on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right here, the quick scoop, and then he does it. All of these guys, Georgia in particular, they're well coached, and sometimes they just turn. They don't have to flat back you, and they're actually saving energy by not falling to the ground and having to get up every time. But just he's got great balance and great athleticism. And then someone did put it in the 12 for life. Jackson, that's the kid from Ohio State. He's played guard. He's played tackle. He's beast. I don't know if he'll be there when we pick. We'll see, because I think a lot of people are going to see him as tackle now. And then you also said Zabel from, was that North Dakota State, who, he's 6'6". He's definitely a tackle. We don't need a tackle right now, but what I love about Zabel, he could play either side at tackle, which is rare because it's a whole different mindset. It's like going literally from being a lefty to a righty, not just I'm talking if you were to he starts at right tackle, he's a righty, but then you're he's got to write everything with his left hand and do everything backwards. It's a whole different kick step. It's a whole different thought process. It's a different part of your brain. Yeah, really. So, but the fact that he can do it seamlessly, and I'm not worried about the level of competition. We got his buddy Sundell, the backup center, who looked awesome when he came in limited time against Green Bay. So, but these are the guys that stood out the most to me, and I have to do a deeper dive. I have to get more film of offensive linemen. These guys are always underappreciated. The fact that there's not massive film in terms of a catalog of each player that's available to draft means how overlooked these guys are. But all I know is when I got here, I faced the greatest offensive line probably in history. And 2 of them Hall of Famers, another Pro Bowler, and then the other 2 should have been Pro Bowlers. It was insane how easy everything was for us on offense because of it.
Yeah, well, and the vision of a Sean Alexander, but the line. Somebody put up a clip. I saw this online a couple weeks ago. I don't know, whatever it was, and it was before Marshawn Lynch, there was Sean Alexander, and so it was just highlight tape of his film, but from up high. It's the line too. The holes that he had to run through.
6-7 yards before getting touched.
I might not have gotten all those yards, but I could have got first 4. The first 6.
Perhaps. You definitely you 1,000-yard rusher in that offense, man. Give yourself some credit.
I appreciate that.
But Mike, one more thing before we move on from. Pull up my man Tate's profile pic.
Oh yeah, look at this guy. Now he's
Katie gets it.
Lineman you're interested in?
I mean,
for those of you listening on a podcast app, our man here has got 4 chins, half a mustache.
And a party
He's got the most college mustache of all time, and he's got the mullet. He's got the business in the front, party in the back.
The most insane lettuce on that head, just a nice coif in the front. Serial killer eyes, just like you want out of your offensive lineman.
Yep.
This, like, I mean, you're seeing it, those that are watching. This guy just wakes up, pisses excellence, goes and chases it with 6 egg yolks, and then chases that with Savage beer and a side of Copenhagen wintergreen. You can't tell me you don't love this guy.
Dude, and also under the stash, you look under that bottom lip there, he's got a little something.
Little flavor saver.
A little Apollo Ono. Just a little.
Yeah, let him know.
Right there. This guy, absolute stud on the field, but also when he looks in the mirror. Do we have more off it? Is that all? How many? We got more? I thought we got more. Oh, that was it?
That was it.
Drew has multiple. Okay, I got you. Listen, though. Offensive lineman, especially a guard at 18, no matter what this guy's hair looks like, it's not super sexy. You got to take a second and talk to
the hair.
No, just in general.
I was like, "Whoa, bro! I don't have hair. Like you have hair."
At 18, you know, I mean, even like a pick like Steve Hutchison is like, it's a Hall of Famer. It turns out to be what it turns out to be. But when it's announced on the day, it's not really one that gets you up off the couch and excited in that way where you take like a playmaking wide receiver or something like that. So talk to 12s a little bit about being sensible and taking a guard.
That shit gets me very excited. Like, hey, all right. We're going to run the ball. We're going to pass the ball for as long as we want now, right? Things like that. Do you like things of that nature? Because I do, Brett. And 12s, I hope you're listening too. But just, it all starts in the trenches. It's won and lost in the trenches. Like, I don't care how many all-pros you have behind that. If the ball ain't coming out fast, these receivers are fast enough to eventually play backyard football, turn around, get open, just go, hey, put the hand up Randy Moss style and just outrun you on a 7-second, 8-second route. I don't care how good of a cover corner you are, man. That shit is hell. And if you have like 3 or 4 of those a game, you're going to have the most explosive plays given up. So, yeah, it's not. But I don't know. I never got super stoked about receiver picks. If it's a Hall of Famer like Randy Moss, Julio Jones, I get that. I get why, first round, everyone's like, yeah, here we go, right? Because that does take pressure off everybody else. But I'm just saying it's not what it's. I just revisit when the Hawks won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, Jermaine Kearse and Doug Baldwin were not drafted, right? And those were our starting. And for the better part of the year, I think Sid was hurt a couple games. Sid was a beast. Percy Harvin, beast, right? But Percy missed like pretty much the whole year. Came back and showed why he was paid. That one play in the Super Bowl was worth all that money because it ended the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think like I'm saying, I think with years of watching these guys develop and things like that, you go back and you appreciate these draft picks when they're taken. But in the moment when it happens, it's like I see in the chat over here, people saying, "Oh, I'd get off my couch for an 18th overall offensive lineman." No, you wouldn't, because you don't know
whoever you are,
just like any other draft pick. But
whoever said that, football.
You don't know if it's going to work out though. Anyway, what if that one doesn't work out? Well, then you go back and look through, and there's some like receiver or running back there that all of a sudden is like
that's always going to happen.
Well, but offensive linemen take time to develop, don't they?
Well, no. Like if you know what you're looking for, nothing.
Is that a franchise changing pick if you take a guard at 18?
If you know what you're looking for, anything is a sure deal in terms of what they can do in this league.
Okay.
All right. Outside of a position change for the kid, which I've always believed is the worst to do at the highest level. Oh, we're going to take this kid early and then we're going to move his position. Like, really? Like, why would you do that? But this is something when you have a developmental guy or a guy that's like a 6th, 7th round pick, and you just know in your heart that, hey, he's just out of position. And when we like school him up on how to play this, like it's over. Like everyone's be like, man, I can't believe he finally figured it out. No, he was playing the wrong position his whole life. And he didn't know that. He was just good, better than the competition, beating them without any true skills. You could teach a skill, right? You could teach eyes, hands, feet, leverage, all that shit. But the only thing you can't teach is heart, toughness, right? Grit. So I look for those gritty players, man. I look for those like dogs. And so this kid, Tate Ratledge, is probably, all reports say 3rd round, maybe a little later. I don't know how anybody watches that tape and says this kid can't start right away or contribute right away. Like, so, and same with, the other guy, Booker. Yeah, he'll probably be a 1st rounder. I would imagine as a guard, he'll still be available there when we're there. But if I were to put my GM hat on, I would rather Ratledge, if I can get him in the 3rd round, there for a value than Booker in the 1st, just because we're talking about a guy with better feet, better athleticism. Is he as tough or strong? He's tough. He just, I didn't see him finish blocks the way Booker finished blocks. So that's when I gauge toughness of O-lineman. Who really wants to like beat the shit out of the guy across from them?
Yeah.
Booker clearly does.
I want names. I want names from the chat at number 18. What are the names? Give me some names. Some real life, this is who I want names. Because I see all of you saying that you'd get excited for an O-lineman, but I don't believe you. I don't know.
I believe they're getting very educated about ball right now, and I love it. I love it.
But I hear what you're saying, which is like you can get them in a later round. I mean, 18 is not a super first round. I don't know. I think you can get those guys a little bit later.
Well, I mean, so Walter Jones at 6, Hutch. I don't know where he was, but if he wasn't like top 5, it wasn't soon enough.
Well, he was up there. He was pretty high. But I mean, but you're kind of even saying though, you think some of these guys are 3rd round, so they're not Walter Jones or Hutchison. So
no,
you take them at 18,
Pump the brake, kids. Pump the brakes.
Isn't offensive line notoriously one of the hardest positions to scout anyway?
I don't believe so.
No,
I don't. If you don't know what you're looking for, yeah, sure, it's hard. But
Hutch was 7. By the way, Hutch was taking 17.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I said. And that, yeah. So and that's what I'm saying. Like, what I'm really pissed off about is that I don't have access to like every O-lineman available. Because like I looked up some guys that they had ranked in the 2nd round, 3rd round, and there was no film on them, not even a highlight film. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, awesome. Like, just gonna have to go off of what someone wrote about him, and like, I don't know.
I'm seeing this name
about football.
Gray Zabel a lot, not just in our chat, but I'm seeing that name a lot online when I look at Twitter and all the dark parts of the internet that I'm into. I see this guy's name getting thrown around all over the place. One thing I know about NFL drafts, and especially Seahawks drafts, is none of the names that we're talking about are going to be the person we end up taking. I don't know why. But what do you think about him and his game, or have you been able to see any?
Yeah. This is the kid I was talking about that can play both tackle positions, which is rare. So like you love that. The value there is unbelievable because like, maybe you have a left tackle. All right, you're going to start off at right, and then if that guy moves on contract or just age, then we move over there and play there until we draft an early, left tackle, a true left tackle. But I think he's 6'6", and I watched him play Colorado, who has a good amount of players, right? So Like competition wasn't a concern. It was he plays kind of high, very, very good athlete, but I don't know. I think he's only 305, and it looks like he has the frame to put on more weight. And that's what I think they're going to ask him to do, just because it looked like just when there was a physical pass rusher, it looked like his height might have been a problem, not his toughness or anything. It was just like he just got the ability where guys can naturally get underneath and leverage against him. So, because I'm telling you, when you go from college to the NFL, it's a whole different ballgame. Everybody, they're either the best talent you've ever seen and like beyond belief where you can't even put into words, like I've never seen that shit before, or they're the smartest, craftiest, savviest guys that are just tough as nails and that just love football. Either way, you're in for a fight. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they brought in a new OC, Clint Kubiak. I mean, you would think he'd have something to say about what they do at 18 if they're going to go offensive. I'm just wondering if he's looking at playmakers or if he's looking at, foundational pieces like this.
But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be not just the scouting department, John and the scouting department and the coaches, and it's addressing a true need. So yeah, there'll be some input there, and I forget who they have over in New Orleans, but they've drafted some pretty good O linemen. Even going back to Sean Payton days, but after Sean left, they had a couple guys that were very impressive. So, like I said, it all starts up front. If you want to do anything on offense, you better have time to do something.
Thank you guys for your time and joining us here on the live stream tonight. We're crushing our viewership record. Keep copying and pasting this link. Let them know that we're on. We're staying up late with you guys. Keep filling up the super chats. Producer Katie's here. She'll read off your Q&A questions and all that kind of good stuff as we keep going here through the night. I see people mentioning a tight end, Tyler Warren.
That's a bad dude.
Yeah, okay. Well, we don't throw the ball to tight ends around here, though.
This dude played quarterback, running back. I could see some wildcat packages where he's back there. He threw the ball. I mean, yes, this is a rare talent at tight end. I'm trying to think. I haven't seen anybody run after the catch the way he has with his physicality, his toughness, his balance, and he's huge and he's fast. And that guy, he's going to be gone. I don't know who said it. You're right. The guy's amazing, but he's going to be gone well before we get to pick, buddy.
Okay. All right. Well, I just looked him up. 6'6", 260 out of Penn State. He's got the blonde salad coming out of the back of the helmet with this guy. Wears big number 44 in college. It looks like an absolute specimen.
Yeah. I mean, he is. I mean, he almost looks like Dan Campbell. Like if you look at the pictures, yeah. I could see Dan Campbell just trading up for him, even though they got Laporta. I could see Campbell like, oh, imagine what we could do with this guy.
Yeah.
He's, there's a few like transcendent tight ends, right? Like Gronk, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates. Shit, anybody named Tony, whether it's English or Spanish. But Tyler's pretty close, right? So This guy, you have to go watch his highlights. We'll break each position down as we keep going in the offseason, ladies and gentlemen, just like we did. And good news, we'll have more film because O-line's just forgotten about, I guess. But, this kid, Tyler Warren, like run after the catch, delivering like 6'6", and he runs with the pad level of a guy that's like 6'3". Like that's how low he can get to deliver, and he understands contact balance, near foot, near shoulder, like the basic fundamentals of power. Like, kid's insane.
We're focusing on the offense here, especially in the first round of the draft. I think the defense seemed to sure itself up by the end of the year. We got to take care of the offense. But Lofa, we'd be remiss if we didn't get your thoughts on some linebackers that are out there, especially just some early thoughts. We can get to some actual film in later episodes, but early thoughts. Everybody's talking Jack Sawyer, this kid from
Well, Sawyer started off as a linebacker, but he played D end pretty much all this year. He's a stud. He played opposite of a name everybody in the Northwest should know, Pac Northwest, JT Tuimalau. He's homegrown over here and, went to Ohio State. That's got a sting for your Huskies there.
Oh,
pal.
whatever. It's all messed up now. Nobody stays where they're supposed to stay. It doesn't even matter. Even if they would have come to Washington for a year, they'd be gone for a couple mil to some blue blood in the SEC the next year anyway.
Yeah, probably. But so Sawyer, he makes big plays. Big dude. I haven't broken down his game completely, but I've watched Ohio State play a couple times, and they're saying his name every other play. So good player, but yeah, he was a linebacker. He played predominantly either Sam or stand up the end. So that's not one that I really think that we have a need for. Like, if anything, we need inside linebackers to go behind, push T Knight to continue to progress and then back up Ernest. We need, like, if God forbid anything happened to them, well, we have to get him under contract first.
We gotta get Ernest signed, man. He was quoted at the end of the season saying we're gonna get this thing done, and nothing's really happened so far. So let's get that under control first of all.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, definitely need that guy in a contract. What other names? Anything else?
Let's see here. Jeffrey Bassa. Is that a linebacker?
Oregon kid.
Oh, Oregon. That's why I don't know.
Damn. He's been getting a lot of hype lately. I guess he had a good Senior Bowl. I haven't broken him down. Like I said, I went straight to our needs, which you don't ever want to draft for a need, right? Like, because what if the kid's just not mentally ready to play for you right away? Like, you draft him first round and expect him, and he might have Hall of Fame or All Pro talent, but just he's not ready to play. Could be for a number of reasons, like moving to a brand new city. That's the only thing that the portal got right. All these kids, they've been to 6 different schools, right? A lot of them doctors coming in at 25 years old. I'm not worried about them acclimating to a new city anymore, because that used to be a real problem, right? Finding your surroundings and finding a place to live, all the things that adulting, it's hard. And so that problem at least has been solved in the short term. But I watched a good portion of the Senior Bowl. It was competitive. Honestly, the guy that stood out the most was the MVP. I had to look up, is it Jack Besh, and the receiver. And I don't know, for those that were watching, like, man, 6'2", 215. And when you're watching how quickly he moved, the only thing, he didn't get a lot of separation, but how quickly he moved, and how I felt like I was watching almost like a Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua type body and understanding of the game. But Puka and Kupp have a little better speed, at least.
Yeah.
Like they separate.
Besh, he's the story of the Senior Bowl here. He won the MVP. He finished with 6 catches for 68 yards and the game's final score. He was a receiver at TCU. He wore his Princeton Tigers helmet decals, though, honoring his late brother. So he's got an it was a tragic story. His brother was in the New Orleans. And it's it's sad. It was special to see the moment after, when he caught the game winner. And I don't know if it was like his dad or his uncle was right there to hug him, and just because, this was only a month ago. Crazy.
Like
crazy.
Literally like yesterday, a month ago. And so, but you watch this kid's film, unreal. Catches the contested, like, across the middle. And then after the catch is really what I've always been impressed with by receivers. Like, what are you doing? Anybody can be a possession receiver and just catch the ball and fall down, right? Who catches it and then makes the most of the opportunity after? So he's one of those guys. And he started off at LSU. He was a beast his freshman year, and then I don't know what happened, but he didn't get as much playing time, and then decided to hit the portal. And I don't know why TCU didn't give him the ball more. a year ago, but this year, average 16.9, had like 9 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards on 62 receptions.
Man, I was so starved for football this weekend. I mean, I have to admit, everybody, I don't watch the Senior Bowl all that often, but I watched every minute of it. The American team winning 22-19 over the national team, whatever that means. But it was fun to watch the prospects run around, and it's just funny what like sports has become and football has become, because we find ourselves watching these almost glorified practices in a way. All Senior Bowl. Really, there's like,
you didn't watch the flag football Pro Bowl game?
Well, I was going to get there next.
Okay. Well, no, let's not move off the Senior Bowl yet either, because someone did mention a name. He's not a linebacker; he's a DN. Because I wanted to go position to position. I want to go. The next one will break down some, edge or tackles. I don't know. We don't need a tackle though, so I kind of want to just like, we'll figure it out. But Mike Green from Marshall, someone mentioned him earlier, and that when I was watching him, like I always watch film first, and then later I'll go look up their height, weight, speed, and dude was just making the most insanely athletic moves, almost like Brian Burns, who's one of the elite pass rushers, but Burns had better closing speed to finish plays. There were several times I saw guys kind of get away, but like I'm talking like he had already ran like 15 yards in a quick radius to chase this guy down, flush him out of the pocket, and like the guy got away, but threw it away, or whatever. It wasn't big plays, but he had 17.5 sacks. After I looked him up, I thought he was like, I was expecting like 6'2", 230. He's 6'4", 250. And when you're 6'4", 250 moving like that, that's why I always like to go off the eye test before I ever look anything up about these guys. And man, I was floored when I saw that that's how big this dude is. And he just plays with the mean streak. Unbelievable, just attacks, relentless. And I think all reports before the Senior Bowl had him at like 3rd, 4th round. I would be surprised if he's not end of 1st. 2nd for sure, but end of 1st.
I saw this name in the chat, but I've also seen it online in different Seahawks circles. How about Jackson Dart, quarterback? Do you think the Seahawks draft a quarterback, whether it's in an early round or a later round?
I have to look at. I think we probably do, but I have to look at the tape to tell you who it is. Like, I don't. Like Lane Kiffin's one of the best quarterback coaches and developers up there with like Sark. And honestly, I think like he made Jackson Dart better than Jackson Dart is. And so did Sark in terms of Quinn Ewers. I wasn't really impressed with Ewers. So I don't know. Like if he's gotten the best coaching that I know of in terms of guys I've been around, how much higher is his ceiling? Is all I'm saying. Like, so we'll see, but I'm still stuck on what it's like the next year's class, because I'm trying to think. I wasn't overly impressed with Gabriel. I thought he was awesome at Oklahoma, and then he just looked okay, even though his numbers were greater at Oregon. Especially when he went up against Ohio State, I was like, come on, dog.
I don't know if I can trust guys that have been around Sark and Lane Kiffin. Those two guys sold their soul a long time ago. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Doesn't Kiffin
elaborate on that?
Kiffin? Come on, USC. He doesn't annoy the shit out of me.
I love Kiffin and Sark. Well, probably because we won national championships together. That might play a part in it. Right? We only put out 2 Heisman Trophy quarterbacks together. I'm acting like I did anything of that. No, I didn't. but these guys were a part of it, and they're great offensive minds, right? They know how to game plan and scheme, and like I'm telling, I really thought they were going to pull Ewers for Arch Manning at one point. Like they're just not getting enough out of that quarterback. That Arizona State game, other than just the officials blowing 2 calls, I'll give him credit, man. I love that he stepped up and he delivered a strike when they had a max all out blitz. He calmed everybody down and said, "Hey, max protect. Just give me a couple seconds." And he threw one for a touchdown to force overtime, or it might have been the go ahead to win. I don't know what it was, but I was like, okay, that's rare, right? To be poised in that moment. But other than that, he was overthrowing guys. That receiver Golden, who's awesome. He's going to be a high draft pick. And then there was just other instances in that, whole game where I was just like, hey, should have been got picked off twice, I believe, but should have been picked off like 3 or 4 times. They just dropped the ball, Arizona State. He underthrew, just the guy was running. I was like, dude, he's 50 yards downfield. How strong is this kid's arm? And then he wound up and threw it, and it was 10 yards short, and it was picked off. And I was just like, okay, yeah, let that thing go earlier. Throw with anticipation.
Let's say that we do figure out Geno's contract and he sticks around. Sam Howell doesn't seem to be really pushing him from a competition standpoint, like the way that we talk about. I think, them drafting someone or bringing somebody in, is that a good thing for Geno to be pushed in that kind of way?
I mean, unless you bring in an all-pro quarterback, you're not going to push Geno.
You don't think so?
No, I know so. These are just the facts. Geno's not looking over. He's not looking over his shoulder. Okay, the guy with the most game-winning comebacks over the last 3 years, which coincidentally are the only 3 years Geno started in the last 13, are Geno Smith. He's the leading. So, do you think he's ever looking over his shoulder? Oh, he doesn't need to be pushed. Competition is always great to bring out the best in people. So I understand that perspective that you're talking about, but no, what he needs is time to throw the damn ball.
Yeah.
And holes to open up the run game.
What he needs is a team to be ahead in the first place, and he doesn't have to come back and win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But that does fall on Geno too, though, there. Because towards the end of the season, where the defense was kicking ass, going from 30th in the first 7 or 8 games, ranked in almost every statistical category, to finishing top 14, 15-ish in most and higher in other categories. They did their part. And so that's where it was kind of okay, we got back to kind of balance, but still with the shuffling of the offensive line and the injuries and everything, it's just you're never going to find consistency.
Okay. All right. No, push everybody around.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking kick ass.
Ass, everybody.
That's what we're here to do.
Speaking of kicking ass, you guys are kicking ass tonight with the viewer number. Thanks for copying and pasting the link, sending it around. You guys are awesome. You know what? I haven't shown any sponsor love yet. Let me show some sponsor love. Stay here for a second. BetOnline.ag. Use the browser. Use the mobile app. Download it any app store. It's BetOnline, everybody, your number one trusted source for all of your online wagering needs. The big game is coming up this weekend. Get in on it at betonline.ag, the earliest odds and all the prop bets. Who scores first? What type of score will it be first? What color Gatorade will the winning coach be showered with? All of those fun types of bets are at betonline.ag. Use our promo code
Believe, spelled BLEAV,
for a welcome bonus when you put in your first deposit at betonline.ag. Also, epicseats.com. Nobody beats
Epic Seats.
Check epicseats.com for all your seats and ticket needs. If you're holding seats for something and you want to get rid of those, use epicseats.com. Let them know we sent you. They'll hook you up with a special bonus and all that kind of stuff. It's epicseats.com. Everybody. What else is on your mind out there? We've got some super chats. Let's bring producer Katie in here. Fire up her microphone. Hit us with a super chat, producer Katie. What do you got?
Lofa, show the kids how you act at a Hawks game, and that will pump them up. Attitude is everything. Tell them to stick it to the other teams.
Oh, I think they're talking about your little league teams here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the things I said when I was playing for the Hawks, Alina, but yes, I will put that in the old file cabinet and bring it out when it's appropriate, which will be 5 years from now when they're 18.
Alina also says, Brett, you killed off the main character, and in your mind, you had a huge smile for what happened to you earlier. Now you know how I feel about the refs. By the way, you are both rocking the KJ Wi-Fi tonight. LOL.
Listen, I'm gonna blame everybody else's Wi-Fi. We're breaking records with viewer numbers here. People are jumping on. That's got to be the problem. It's not our Wi-Fi.
Breaking the internet.
Yeah. Also, I'm plugged in, man. I'm mainlining this thing. I don't know why it's my problem.
I'm about to watch this shit from my phone, because True Font was on here just 2 weeks ago, and he was crispy and clean as hell, and I was like, damn. He was making fun of my Wi-Fi.
Bionic Giraffe. Donovan Jackson is another great option at 18, in my opinion.
Hit us.
Bionic Giraffe, 94. Absolutely correct. Just 2 position value. He can play guard and tackle. But I think just what we saw out of him at tackle is just he could do both. And, if I'm him, I'm like, I want to play tackle, which you're not really allowed to tell the team that drafts you what, but the team that has your best interest, they're going to put you where you're going to thrive. And especially if they're paying that price tag, because he is going to be a high pick. He should be there at 18. I just, I don't know with that much value that he provides in terms of has to go in, because he's going to play right away. Great athlete, tough. He was finishing a lot of blocks too. I should have made a cut up of him too, but you're right.
The Pro Bowl was also on this weekend. We touched on it earlier. I was watching the Senior Bowl because that was actual football. The Pro Bowl is soft as hell, and it's kind of a clown show, if I'm 100% honest. I'm sorry. I think the whole thing is soft and sort of lame, and I don't even know who would be watching that anyway on TV. I mean, the whole thing honestly looks like an old episode of Family Double Dare, but with guys with grills instead. It's not like your aunt and your grandma competing in the slime. It's
the grills sound most exciting part.
It honestly is. Yeah, pretty much. The flag football. I mean,
well,
what the hell is that? You got a lineman on one knee who's not allowed to get up. Why'd that guy even go?
Well, speaking of go, so I saw someone sent me it was a tweet, but they sent it through Instagram because I guess, I don't know, man, I'm old. But so either way, I got the graphic, and it was just all these Hall of Famers, and it said the Pro Bowl I remember filled with all the heroes that I looked up to at age 10. And then 20 years later, he's like, and now we're watching a bunch of average. I don't know what quarterback this was a shot at, but we're watching a bunch of average quarterbacks play phys ed games, PE games.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know the solution, because I totally understand that if you go out there and you hurt yourself, especially, God forbid, catastrophically in a glorified all-star game after the season's over. I get why you can't necessarily play full tilt real football, but these sort of putting on your shorts and t-shirts and going and playing flag football, it's just kind of weird. I don't know. It doesn't feel like you're even playing the same sport, and no other leagues do this for their all-star games. I mean, the NBA all-star game is basically a joke. It's not like anyone plays defense, but they're still playing basketball.
Well, I mean, they don't play defense in regular season either, so
that's
there's
true.
That.
Good point.
But I will say, if I can remember it, I have no idea where we were. Where were we?
The Pro Bowl, just the flag football of it all.
Oh, it's going to be an Olympic sport, and maybe the NFL had the script and they just knew, hey, man, this is coming anyways. Why don't we get ahead of it and promote the shit out of flag football?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. Because it sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I turned it on for about 5 minutes. I'd be interested to know what the all day family thinks about this. Did any of you turn it on? And if you did turn it on, how long did you keep it on? My plan was honestly to turn it on and then just kind of keep it on and walk through the room from time to time as just sort of having something on in the background. And even that was just sort of boring. And I turned it off. JSN was out there catching balls. That was kind of fun to see.
That's what he does. That's what he cares about.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I had who was it? Johnny Langston and I think Chris Anderson, some faithful all day brothers there. They sent me not the catch. I wanted to see the catch. So I didn't get to see any football. I got to see his Sharpie celebration to commemorate T.O.'s Sharpie celebration. I was like, all right, man, I want that 30 seconds of my life back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So how about some ideas to make it better? Because I thought today, why can't we do so you put together an NFL blitz style team. Remember there was only 3 linemen, a quarterback, probably 2 receivers and a running back. And then on defense, you got a couple, maybe 3 linemen, a linebacker, a couple DBs. So you have a kind of maybe even less than that. But you put together an NFL blitz skeleton team of each team that isn't playing in the Super Bowl, right? And then let's get a little tournament going. So at least if we're playing flag football, it's not just AFC versus NFC. Let us root for our Seahawks to maybe win a little postseason flag football tournament that takes place over the course of 1 or 2 days, And then at least I can turn on the TV and root for Gino and JSN and probably Witherspoon's on the other side. And now I got a rooting interest other than just sort of arbitrarily watching NFC versus AFC, which I don't even care about.
I think that's a good point. Doesn't Major League Baseball All-Star, there's something at stake. Is it home field or
home field for the World Series? Yep.
That's huge. There's actually something on the line, right? I don't know if basketball does anything. They have a mid-season tournament. Make that make sense.
Yeah, where the courts look like a video game.
Yeah. Anything to make money, right? But football. Well, the problem is they moved the fucking Pro Bowl up before the Super Bowl. So now everyone, if you made the Super Bowl, there's going to be a lot of guys that made the Pro Bowl on that team, on both teams. So there's now 10 or 11 guys that can't go. So now we're running into this where that guy's comment of I'm watching an average quarterback throw flag football passes. You're coming down to the 5th, 6th alternate, right?
How about
you don't deserve to be there. There's a first alternate D tackle or D end, right? Our guard Leonard Williams almost didn't get an invite because of this. He was the first alternate, right? But I think the 6th alternate for quarterback went, right? From both sides. I don't know. It was.
I see people here saying, "Oh, that's too many players," or they're already on vacation, whatever. How about divisional then? Maybe two players from each team in the division. You form a flag football team, and then you get into a tournament. It's just something that I can root for. There's no rooting interest in when I turn on the TV and for the Pro Bowl, and that's the problem with it. I need something I can get into, and like you said, put something on the line. But you can't. I get it. You can't put $1 million on the line and put them all in full pads. They'll kill each other. So you can't have that either.
Why not?
But you need something.
Not with that attitude.
No, I'm telling you though, some prize money on the line. Maybe you take it back to your team, split it up. Something to play for, and then something prideful in which the fans can then root for. That's what we need. Nobody cares about AFC, NFC. Nobody cares. It's not like baseball, American League, National League. It's not the same.
Brendan Myers put a draft pick on the line. I like it. I don't know how it's going to work. Hopefully you've already worked out the logistics, but hey, that's something to fight for.
Okay. I'm into that. How about that?
Yeah.
How about just watching them play a different sport? I was thinking today, what if we just watch them all play basketball?
Honestly, it'd be more entertaining.
Right? I didn't know JSN could do that.
Yes.
Interesting, at least.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? I mean,
let's see. A Hawks fan says Pros Bowl. Yeah, what happened to Pros versus Joes? That was a good show. I like that. You remember that show?
Know.
You don't remember
I remember it. I remember it, but I never watched it.
Somebody says arm wrestling.
Yeah, okay. That's actually arguably more dangerous than playing football in terms of catastrophic injuries. I've seen so many arms get snapped.
But if every team got to pick one representative to go into the arm wrestling tournament, and like we all watch that, everybody would tune in for that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they?
I don't know. Okay. But like even like these Pro Bowl games, like I don't want to see these quarterbacks do this stupid fucking quarterback drill. Right. And this is where Eaglet Snapper, you got me. Put the QBs on the sled. Right. Like I want to see D linemen throwing the ball and O linemen throwing the ball. That skills challenge, right? Let's see who the real athletes are, like you're talking about, Brett, and Eaglet Snapper, right? Yeah. And then for the skill position, like there's got to be some way to, I don't know, wrestling, something. Let's just find out who the dogs are, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in line with that because I would tune in to see Leonard Williams throw the football. I mean, he was the best dodgeball player. Let's watch him throw a football, like the precision, the accuracy. I want to see that more than I want to see like all these quarterbacks miss targets.
Right. I agree. And I agree with whoever was saying that like the gymnastics, or not gymnastics, but the like sort of gym PE style. That's what it looks like when you tune in. And it just kind of
at this point, I'd rather have them do a dance off, right? Stomp the yard. Let's just see who the better dancers are. Cause I mean, that's all celebrations are anyways. Like,
today I turned it on and they have the long snappers, one from each side, firing their long snaps at bowling pins.
That's actually sounds more entertaining than everything else I've heard.
It does, but it was over in like 2 seconds.
But I mean, they should have, okay, you're a long snapper. Let's see who could snap it the longest. How come that's not a competition, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Either way, it needs a complete overhaul. That thing's a mess.
You got a shit show.
Cats over here, producer Katie, hit us.
Axel MTG says, I don't care the position, offense or defense. I want the Seahawks to go best player available. The NFL is a talent arms race, and we need to keep up. Fill needs in free agency.
Well, I agree. I mean, especially if you're going to, possibly we all think Tyler Lockett, even though we don't want it, we all think he might not be on the squad next year. We'll see what happens with DK. A lot of trade rumors out there. K9, can he stay healthy? Geno and the contract. I mean, to me, I think that, 18's not a pick, though, where you sort of get those. Well, I mean, you can get a playmaker. Look, you can get a playmaker in any round. It depends on who you're getting, right? We know that. But at 18, you're not getting that sort of like, blue chip receiver, or I don't know. I mean, you could, but that's not what the wisdom would say.
All right. Katie, can you put that comment back up? Who
wants foundational?
I just want to.
It was
Axel MTG. Yeah. First of all, thank you for chiming in. You are correct, and that is traditional wisdom of thinking in terms of best available, right? Because you're building continually for the future. However, you get fired if you don't have a good year. So to that point, there are guys routinely overlooked that can play right away and go second round or later. And then everybody's like, where the fuck that guy come from? I'm like, oh, did you watch the film? So it's double-edged sword there. You are right. This is almost always how, but what good does a guy that is a Pro Bowler sitting on your bench because they're waiting their turn because you have, a starter that has another year or two on his contract that is still a pretty high performer, maybe not a Pro Bowl or Hall of Fame guy, but they're a statistically above average performer and at a discount price. So that train of thought in my mind is like, yes, you never want to draft for a specific need because God forbid the kid is just not ready to play, right? For whatever reason. Yeah, they dominated high school, college, all the way up. Well, I mean, you should be cautious that he's finally going to hit adversity when he gets to the NFL. But so it's just tough, but I do respect your opinion, and that is generally how it's always been done.
I was muted. My bad. What else you got, Katie?
Alina, Lofa, that's funny. True Font was making fun of the Wi-Fi. How's that non-homemade Seattle dog coming?
No, stop it.
This dog wants to make sure that you eat your dog. LOL.
We're putting the Seattle dog thing on hold till next year. It wasn't done properly. The whole thing is a.
We need a redemption.
It's a complete disqualification. We should just act
I will make you the homemade Seattle dog.
There was sauerkraut involved. It didn't go well.
Yeah,
I'm going to find the fucking link where I looked it up that said sauerkraut is a major ingredient. All right. And I like sauerkraut.
I do too.
Made it all a better experience. All right.
I like sauerkraut, but the thought of mixing that with the cream cheese gives me the curdled milk.
Yeah, because cream cheese doesn't belong on a hot dog.
Not with sauerkraut.
Not with sauerkraut.
First of all, I schooled you guys. The Seattle dog originated in Chicago. You guys know that, right?
What?
Yeah.
How dare you?
I'm going to do a whole episode on this next time. Probably from the toilet, which is where I went.
Listen,
still having gastric issues.
I typed right into Google. All I typed is Seattle dog, DOG. Comes up right here. Cream cheese, grilled onions, possibly a squirt of sriracha. You're good to go. And it comes up. I didn't even have to click a link. That's like, where it comes up under the Google thing. It tells you like Google tells you the right answer.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Google tells you the exact right answer? You don't have to look for anything else.
Yeah.
Don't
bother.
Google never lied.
Any further than that. It's right there. Cream cheese, grilled onions. Here you go. Cream cheese, grilled onions, jalapenos, mustard, sriracha, or bacon. That's pretty much.
Oh, bacon! I'm in for bacon.
Bacon sound. It says bacon can be added for extra flavor, and for my money, like when is bacon not added for extra flavor? You should always put bacon on there, anytime.
Oh, I swear, I see it.
The chat doesn't like bacon.
Yeah, bacon's unsanctioned.
Uh-oh.
Also, so is sriracha.
Okay.
That's all unsanctioned.
Squirt of sriracha.
Do you guys see that?
What Lofa's got? What has he got?
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I have to turn my light off. How do I get this?
It must be your Wi-Fi.
Look, sauerkraut. Okay, it says optional. Disregard that part. It's right there. I'm gonna screenshot that and send it to you.
All right.
You know who agrees with that probably? At the real cheese.
Yeah.
Big men do sumo.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wide receivers and quarterbacks run track.
Yep.
Quarterbacks play head-to-head dunk tank or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I mostly want the sumo.
These are real solutions though. I like it. Quarterbacks fight club. Just gonna put that out there. See these ladies knock each other out.
Yeah. But see, they can't have the receivers and the cornerbacks run track because all their agents will freak out about pulled hamstrings and pulled this or that. And that's legitimate. And I understand that. But as Lofa and I discussed, when you're going into it with that attitude, that's what you're going to get. You got to get out there and just play. Come on now.
Gina Luplow. Yeah. See, I'm sorry. I'm still on Seattle dog. Yeah. 100%. It's from Chicago.
What? Who says that?
Gina.
I believe anything Gina says.
Yeah, that's true.
Gina. Yeah,
know everything. Yeah, but back to this for a second though. The NFL does have this problem with their All-Star game, which is like, I mean, the NBA they're still playing basketball. Like I said, I went and shot something one time where I did this. I'm in this movie called Movie 43. It has 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. But it has 400 movie stars in it. It's like this compilation movie that was all put together by the Farrelly brothers.
This movie did the least with the most.
I'm in a sketch where we're playing basketball. They got these NBA guys to be in it with us. I'm ignoring your comment. They got these NBA guys to be in it with us. And, before we shot, they're like wrapping everybody's ankles, even us lowly actors who clearly aren't going to be out there with the possibility of breaking ankles. But they're like wrapping up all these guys' ankles and stuff. And these NBA guys, they're like, nah, don't even bother. I'm just out here to play. I'm out here to have fun. And then they let us go. And these guys are they're crossing people over, breaking ankles, spin moves, double jukes, dunking it, flying high, doing all this crazy. They don't care. And they're just out there shooting this thing that's 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. What do they care?
Yeah, but at the time, they think Bradley Cooper's in it. And so is literally every movie star.
Right. But to my point, so they're going hard and they don't care. They're not looking over their
What year was this?
Their agent or their coach. This is like 8 years ago. Something like Jared Dudley was there. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hot up shooter. Dude's a sniper. Anyway, but I was saying to them, I was like, don't you guys want to wrap your ankles? You got a season coming up. They're like, nah. They're like, if we can't do this, then we shouldn't even be there in the first place.
They're like, not for this. Like, are you serious?
2013.
Oh, okay. So it's a while ago.
11, yeah.
Okay. A little further.
Well, I mean, Emma Stone wasn't Emma Stone in 2013. Bradley Cooper wasn't Bradley Cooper in 2013.
Hugh Jackman, Kate Winslet.
The Hangover just came out 4 or 5 years earlier. Let's get serious.
Chris Pratt.
Kate Winslet. Oh, Rose from the Titanic. Okay, she was kind of a big deal.
Kate Bosworth, Jack McBrayer.
Okay.
Justin Long, Jason Sudeikis, Uma Thurman.
Shout out to Stab.
Chris Pratt kind of wasn't Chris Pratt then, right? He was Anna Faris's like husband, right? Or like boyfriend at the time. Anna Faris, now Scary Movie, she was on. Like,
oh yeah. And fun fact, Anna Faris and I went to the same high school, but at different times.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Jared Benj, it's not roughing the passer. Back to the Fight Club. Just humor me for a second. Stay with me. It's not roughing the passer if they get hit by another passer. I love that thought process.
That's a good call. I like that. Can you imagine watching Peyton play defense back in the day?
That'd be a good no call.
That'd be fun. Maybe that's what they should do, is just switch up offense and defense. All the offensive guys play defense. The defensive guys play offense.
Yeah, we'll see who really knows football and who's really an athlete. Because I would have torched these guys. Just telling you. I don't know. Maybe quarterback, maybe receiver. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I think the defense would win every time. There's no possible way that some of these pocket passers can get out there and defend some of these receivers. Tight ends. No way.
Well, I'd love to see the receivers try to cover the DBs, right?
I'd love to see Mahomes try to cover anybody.
I don't know. He's a pretty good athlete. He's faster. See, but it's like he's always got an ankle injury or a knee injury, and then he just outruns everybody. Like, was he really injured? Like, he's dusted everybody.
Is anything what you really think it is with the Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't know.
I don't know either. You guys are crushing it tonight, though. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for copying the link, sending it around. Let me tell you about our merch store. If you want to buy some hoodies, t-shirts, hats, all that stuff, you can do that. It's alldaybrand.co. We'll put the link in the chat. I believe there's a discount. Is the discount up and going? The discount is not going. There's no discount.
There's gonna be a discount.
Well, don't tell them that. We don't know when it's gonna go on.
There's gonna be. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen tomorrow.
Okay, log on tomorrow then.
Yeah.
My bad.
We have put in the request. All right. That's all I'm saying.
How about this? Let's talk about Magic Mind, everybody. My Magic Mind is empty because I've drank all my Magic Mind. All my shots are gone. This stuff is the greatest. It's reclaim your brain with Magic Mind. We're not talking about mental health. We're talking about mental wealth. Go to magicmind.com/alldayjan, even though it's Feb.
Feb.
Is it now Feb?
Yeah.
Wait, is that confirmed?
FEB. No, also not confirmed.
No, go to All Day Mind.
Yeah.
No.
That's a fib.
No, that's a fib. Don't do that.
It is Feb.
Go to magicmind.com/alldayjan.
Stop talking, Katie.
And even though it's Feb, and fill up on your Magic Mind, everybody. This stuff is the best. It's 100% all organic. It's got this like slow release. What is it called? It's not caffeine, but it acts
They got caffeine.
Huh? Oh yeah, there's caffeine. Wait,
There's
hold
caffeine
on.
in there.
Oh, there is caffeine in there, but it's slow. It's slow releasing. It doesn't like hit you.
Time release.
Time release. They also got the nighttime stuff that helps you at night. So it's a 24-hour cycle with the nighttime and the daytime of Magic Mind. Their mushrooms are grown in California. This is all doctor validated, over 200 scientific studies behind every ingredient that is in this stuff. They also donate 5 cents of every single bottle sold to mental health charities that help with U.S. homeless communities. This is 100% safe. All ingredients are tested by a third party, sourced from the best suppliers. It's Magic Mind, everybody. You get a 100% refund within 100 days, no questions asked. Go to magicmind.com/alldayjan to get in on it today. Oh, we lost 3, but we were up over 5.
5 what?
Million viewers tonight. So thank you.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. We slipped down to 4 million point
4.97.
Yeah. It was close though. It was close. Thank you all for being here. What else you got before we get out of here? Let's jump back on here midweek. We're going to be back on Thursday. We'll go live at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. You guys picking up your kids from school can enjoy that. But before we get out of here tonight, Lofa, any closing thoughts on our weekend without football?
It sucked, man. It really did. Like I always get a little sad, you know? I mean, I look forward to the draft and not so much the combine. We'll talk about that when we get there. One of the worst experience of my life. Thank you very much. But just I don't know. You got like at least things got interesting in the NBA for once during the season with the trades. Maybe we could talk about that on Thursday. Because we'll see, a game or two from.
No,
Luka.
Give me your thought on that because the comments they were talking about that. Go for it.
They were talking about.
Give me some thoughts.
Well, I mean, you got 2 of the best players, right, of their generation in Braun and Luka. How does it work out? I think their basketball IQ and how even effective Braun is at his age. Dude's a beast. But now he's got someone that just like intimately knows the game of basketball and the right thing to do. Because there's times where we've seen Braun throw the ball where a guy should be standing and it goes out of bounds. And that unfortunately goes against LeBron. But Braun's looking at the guy like, dude, like that was, you were supposed to be there for a wide open shot, whether it was a 3 or a bounce pass for a layup. And so these are 2 guys that know the game like that. Like I guarantee you they don't even have to play along together. They just know each other's game because they're students of the game and how to play. And then they got some shooters around them. So that'll be interesting. But then I think the other one I saw was Fox going to the Spurs. Woo. And him pairing him up with Wemby. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare, a real nightmare for everybody.
Listen, LeBron is definitely the player of the generation. It's just not this one. Time to go. Luka's here. We're moving on.
That's part of in their mind, LA. That's they've always had a star, right?
Yep.
Always. So that's exactly what they're gearing up for. But he needs someone to compliment him, someone to help out. Wasn't like their defense was just like crushing it for them. I mean, so I don't even know how old AD is. He's got to be up there now. And by up there, I mean like 33, 34, which is like, it's not old in basketball age, but it's just like to do that night in and night out, which is why it's so impressive for Braun, like at 40 or whatever he is, to do what he's doing. Like, dude, I played basketball the last 2 days. My back hurts. My back's never hurt. Like, it's always been my knees. But my back is killing me.
Yeah. No, listen, I couldn't do it night in and night out like he can. Much respect for all of that. But it's just, I don't think they're going to do anything in the playoffs this year. And the longer he hung around in these last few years, I just, one of the greatest of all time. But I think for me, and especially how I grew up, and we're talking about Michael and all that. I mean, they just hung on for a little bit too long. And I being here close to it too, it's not like you don't even hear people talking about it around town. It's like kind of like whatever.
But numbers wise, even stat line numbers wise, still insane. Like to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I got respect from
I have respect for him. I have respect for him.
For sure. Yeah.
The longer he hangs on, when you talk about like the greatest of all time, or you start having these conversations, like I think a few years ago, that conversation was much more interesting than it is now with some of these extra years that are sort of being added on to sort of pad the stats. I feel like it's a bit like fantasy football junk time.
I hear you, but had Braun got 2 more rings, even maybe 1 more, I'd have to say, and like I'm diehard MJ.
Yeah.
I'd have to say like, okay, he's above Kobe and he's above, even with 1 less ring, I have to say he's above Jordan. Like, and I am big time Jordan fan. Right.
I hear what you're saying. I just think to me, it's like how it happened though, like if you come in, you win, 6 titles in your first 7 years, but then you hang on for an extra 9 where nothing really happens. It's not that you can take away those early ones, and I never would, and we could talk about that. It's just that like sort of optically and the way it all feels as it came down the stretch is a lot different than Kobe and Michael and sort of how they did it at the end.
It loses its luster, right? Like, if it goes the way you're saying, and then he's just like, you know what, I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna go. I don't know. I'll just do whatever I want, but this is too easy. Like then you're just like, like no one would ever talk about anybody else. I know what you're saying,
right?
But I don't know. But this is what we love about sports, right? Fam? Like it's your perspective, opinion, and what you value. Like, I was always brought up to not give a shit about stats and just care about winning. Like, did we win? All right, cool. Then who gives a shit? Who scored what, did what? But, and I'm not even going to say it's new day and age. Braun's like only 2 years younger than me and a year older than you, right? 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
So it's like we're right in line the same, but like the amount of pressure, like I always go back to that. The amount of pressure and scrutiny he's been under since 14.
Yeah.
Like that's to deliver the way he has. That's one thing that no one else has ever had to, like, I can't think of. Maybe Tiger Woods is the only other one that like has had this kind of like pressure, like, oh, well, he's the chosen one.
Yep.
And delivered. Everybody else, like Kobe didn't come in with those expectations. Jordan didn't come up with those expectations to a certain extent, right? I know he had the championship at UNC and had all those great statistical years early on when they were turning around the culture in Chicago, and then finally broke through and won 6 and 7 years, right? But there was no like pressure of like this is be all end all. Like that's been LeBron's life since he was 15.
No, I think you nailed it. I think Tiger Woods, that's definitely in the conversation for like kid who then lived up to the hype. LeBron James, I'd say Bryce Harper in baseball. I think he was on Sports Illustrated cover when he was in high school. Yep. Look what he's done. But very rare that you're able to actually live up to what people said you'd be as a teenager. The list of guys that never lived up to that is much longer than the list of people that did.
Absolutely. Like the weight of the world on your shoulders, like everybody's like, oh, like if you don't do it, you're a major disappointment. It's like, man, I don't even know you. And I'm 15 and you talking like that to me. Like you're a grown ass man. What'd you do with your life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just unfair pressure and judgment placed upon a kid. And you always hear about him just doing great things in the community, even starting his own school. And like, so But just we're only specifically talking as a competitor. Like, yeah, everyone's opinion is different based on their perspective and what they value, right? But for him to even just win one championship is pretty insane. Since he was 15, they're like, he's going to carry a whole frame. I mean, guy's got homework to worry about, and everybody's talking about him carrying an organization at 15. Like, that's just wild.
The mindset. Yeah, absolutely. And especially also when you get drafted, you go to like not the greatest team. He's on the Cavs for a while. I mean, the back to MJ though for 1 second, like you kind of said, like when you retire because you're kind of like not challenged anymore, almost just that you're just too good. And so he retires, he goes to baseball, but then he's like, you know what? I'll come back, and then instantly wins again.
I think, yeah. Even
that was painful, but looking
absolutely.
back on it.
But I mean, another three-peat, but it was more telling that as soon as he left, almost all the pieces stayed there. Yeah. But he was the one thing missing, and I think they went to the conference, right, or whatever. But they lost. It fell short. But doesn't matter, regardless of the sport, right? Unless you're Tiger Woods and a golfer, and it literally comes down to you. But you got your caddy or your ring man there, right? Like a boxer. Yeah. But you want to talk about like pressure-filled moments and delivering. Like that was one of the most insane streaks I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like I don't think we'll ever see it again.
No, never. And also with golf, the field is so huge. You have a couple 100 or 150 something. I mean, you got so many people every weekend. It's kind of ridiculous.
But that's the thing about basketball too. Like the whole world plays basketball.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think as astronomical as the odds are of making it in NFL, it's 53 roster spots. The game's only really played in America. It's getting bigger in other countries now and everything. But like you have a better chance than basketball, baseball.
Somebody says Mike Tyson as far as living up to the hype, especially, I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Olympics at, whatever age, and then baddest man in the world at 20. Like just knocking out grown-ass man at 20. Yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah. Oh, man. Thank you guys for joining tonight. We are out of super chats and pretty much out of time. So we'll see you midweek. We'll jump on live. We'll chat about whatever you guys want to chat about. And of course, get you ready for the Super Bowl, the Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, live from New Orleans. It's Super Bowl licks, everybody. That's a commercial with Gronk on it, so I can't take credit for it, but Gronk's the best. A shout out to all of you guys for watching tonight. Check us out on Instagram. It's at All Day Family on Instagram. On Twitter, it's at All Day Pod. And thank you for following Lofa or I, and thank you for being here tonight. We love you. Producer Katie, anything to say to the people before we get out of here?
I love you all.
Love you all. All right. Lofa, anything?
Appreciate y'all for spending time with us. Love y'all.
For McNasty and producer Mike and producer Katie and Lofa, I'm Brett. We'll see you guys this week. Bye, everybody. Good night.